Hi, Ladybug. Yeah. Okay. I put together a list of just like I think maybe 12 or 13 like effective ways that you guys can kind of implement into your daily routine to kind of help with your self-development. It's something I've been working on it myself and I find that it's helped a little bit. And then like I said earlier, we'll run through the exercise at the end. While I'm going through the list, feel free to do your 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we're all here together. So you guys can do that. Let me go to my notes. Okay, so the first one would be do 1% extra every day. Progress requires consistency. We always say that's like the main thing for like the sauce for our business, right? To get better at anything, you need to start with a little improvements. I know we always talk about, setting big goals, long-term goals, but it's very important to set the small ones every single day. So Tensu and Sophie, what you guys have been doing is really good, just like setting like everyday goals. So for myself, for instance, like, or if you're, for example, if you guys are trying to get free accounts, if you start with one day, you only want one free account, the next day you can add another one. So every day you can just keep adding and do that one extra every day, and that will just build the momentum for you, right? So number 2 is very important for myself, and I think for all of us, something we can all work on. I like as this is monitoring your talk. There are so many things that we can do to make changes for the better, but none of them will last long or be as effective if you don't address the negative self-talk that you have with yourself first. I think like if you like really are self-aware with your thoughts and your voices, you'll notice that there's like 10 different voices within yourself, right? And our goal at the end of this is just to find our core voice and who we truly are, that we can voice that whenever we need to. But there's always going to be several voices within you, like that hurt voice, that upset, that angry voice, all those things, because of past events that has happened, right? So they're all like kind of buried deep within you, but you still hear them, obviously. So even just a little negative self-talk can spiral into stress and depression. How do you respond to the successes and failures? Positive and negative feedback loops from based on your responses. What's that quote? Like, it's not about what is it? I freaking forgot. It's not about the problems. It's about how you deal with them. So remember when you celebrate your wins, but also forgive your losses, right? So for example, I used to work at a supplement store and I was like young at this time, and I used to really like every time we'd hit like a certain target or like we sold over 10 wraps or something, I would get so excited and I would call my boss and be like, oh, we sold 10 wraps, we did this well. And he's like, okay, sure. And then when it was a bad day, he'd be like, okay, so you guys didn't do so well. And I wouldn't be accountable for it at all. And that's when he was like, if you are always willing to like celebrate your wins so hard, you need to take accountable for your losses too. So that's something I want, like I kind of held on to. It's just like, hey, if you want to celebrate your wins, make sure that you're prepared for your losses as well. Okay. Number 3 is learn to say no. This is something I really, really had to work on, because prior to starting my business, or like when I started at first, I just wanted to just do everything for everyone. And it is so like draining to you. Eventually it will just get so tiring. And this is still something I have to learn, right? So it can be tempting to want to help everyone out and give your all to every area of your life. However, in the long run, it isn't always helping you to move forward and grow. When you realize that by saying no, you might be helping others, including yourself, because when you're drained after all those times you've said yes and saying yes time and time again, you're not going to be able to give your 100% best effort, right? Because you're just going to want to do the task and get it over with. So it becomes easier to focus on what truly is important when you're able to say no to certain things. And now, like, it's kind of, you just kind of learn to navigate through that. Number 4 would be checking in with yourself. I like to use 2 accountability questions for myself every day is, what am I tolerating and what am I avoiding? I ask myself things like, what am I tolerating for myself, from the team, from my clients and my relationships, my family, or what am I avoiding doing? What am I dreading? What am I afraid of? These questions always give me an action item list to tackle, right? So at the end of the day, you guys can always, or like when you're feeling stuck, right? I use this every time like I'm kind of like hit like a rock, or what's it called? Um, I kind of hit like a wall during the day, and I like just sit down and just write down like, hey, what am I tolerating with myself, and like what am I avoiding to do? That way you can kind of just have a list for yourself to just check off, right? Let's see. Identifying, number 5 would be identifying your trigger moments. This is super important too. Get excited about things, about getting upset. Use trigger moments to your advantage. You do this by staying aware of when you emotionally charged over anything. When you identify a charge, stop what you're doing, trace your feelings, and disarm it. Now you're ready to confront whatever challenges you are facing, free of the patterns that kind of your creative problem solving. Trigger moments happen to the best of us, and it happens to all of us every single day. You know, there are certain situations that will just bring up past situations, and that causes a trigger. So once you can really be self-aware of when that trigger moment happens, take a step back, write it down. You know, writing is so essential to life, because then now you have it on paper and you can read it over again. What is it that causes me to trigger? What happens? Remember of the past experience, and just really be able to open that up and let it go. Number 6, we like to say this all the time, listen to audiobooks and podcasts. There's tons of self-development audiobooks, also books. That's number 7. Read a book every day for 20 minutes. Also need to get back onto this, but I used to like to read at night, right before bed, for about 20 minutes on training materials or self-development books. And then 8,
Can I
right?
touch on that one really quick? Sorry, before you
Yes.
go to 8.
Yes.
I just want to say I grew up reading a lot, and like I'd say over the last 20 years becoming a stoner, I don't read shit anymore. But the one thing that I will always stand by and reiterate to anybody, if you're ever feeling like I know for me, because I've always been somebody who kind of is conscious of my vocabulary, if I feel like my spelling's going to shit or my vocabulary is going to shit, like I can't think of words, or my brain kind of feels like it's getting dull, honest to God, reading, even if you do it for 20 minutes a day for a week, it will immediately subconsciously amp up your vocabulary and your grammar and your spelling. Like, even if you don't mean for it to, subconsciously, that's what happens. So, like, I myself also need to really get back on it, but I just wanted to share that with you guys. You might not even notice it at first, but very subconsciously, when you read, your brain takes all of it in.
Mm-hmm. It's so true. I used to
also like it, I find that like if ever I'm like down, like depressed, if you read, your brain focuses on that, and like you can choose what you read. So if you read something that is motivating, that will change your like path of thought.
Yeah. That's why we always post like quotes in the morning, right? Like I spend like a good 10-15 minutes in the morning just on Instagram reading motivational quotes, because it really gets me on fire. As simple as like a small one that we post, but just reading it kind of just subconsciously triggers your mind to think that. Okay. So write things down. I've always enjoyed writing things down. It kind of just keeps track, and like just keeping a journal for yourself is so cool to look back on. Like I found like notes from last year, and like my mindset was completely different, just to see the growth that you've had. It's really nice. So I always write things down. I keep separate books for things. Taking time to reflect is so important. Angela always says this, like reflect. You know, we have like this life where we are just so fast paced, and we're always constantly on the go doing so many things. We don't really get to appreciate the little things that you've kind of accomplished, or just the little things in life, right? So being able to just reflect. Honey, that hurts me. Please don't do that, okay? So reflecting on all of the things that you've been through, just giving yourself that celebratory that you deserve, right? It makes a huge difference. And then also, don't be afraid to share your wins with people too, or don't be afraid to share things that you're proud of with others within the team, so that we can celebrate with you as well, right? It doesn't have to be anything drive related. It's just anything you kind of got your outside your bubble that you are proud of. Let us know so we can celebrate with you. That's what the team is here for, right? 9, talk to your loved ones. I like to have open and honest discussions with those around me about what I can do better as a friend, or I always ask that if I can be a better leader. I even do this with my partner as well, right? Like, what can I do to make things better throughout the days, if we're having a bad day, just to see how you can improve, because I truly believe there's something that we can always work on every single day, and every day we evolve to be different people, right? Number 10, ask for feedback. I love when people ask for feedback. It makes it easier for me, because I don't like to message people and be like, you know this da, 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 da. So when you ask for feedback, I feel more open to sharing. So 11 would be meditate. You can meditate. I do yoga. Just kind of giving yourself that 5 minutes to not think about anything. Meditating is definitely a craft to really master, because it's really hard to just not think about anything and have your mind empty. But if you find a good playlist, there's a really good playlist on Spotify for meditation music, and just really focus on your breath work, right? Just really let go of a lot of the thoughts that you have in your head, and just give yourself that 5-10 minutes. Excuse me, Ava, stop it.
I would actually ask if anybody, personally, I really struggle with breathing, even though me and Tinsy actually had a conversation about this last week that was really helpful. But generally speaking, even through all of my mental health work over the years, I really struggle with breathing. And I've always had people tell me how helpful it is. So even just simply 1 minute of breathing in the morning, if you guys are down, we could even do it at the beginning of our training. There is an app for those of us who have Apple. It's called Breathe, and it just sends you this little pulse, and it just tells you when to breathe in and out for 1 minute. And if anybody's interested, we can do that together in the morning. I personally am asking for that because I don't want to do it, and I'll do it if we do it together.
Yeah,
So
breathing is so important. I never realized how important it was until I started doing oxygen yoga. And then in the beginning and at the end of the session, they would tell us just lay there, erase all the thoughts in your head, and breathe for 3 minutes, and breathe 4 in, 4 out. And I was like, holy shit, wow, this is relaxing.
I would actually love to guide that, because I've read a book on breath work that actually gives multiple breathing exercises, and I do have that app, Sophie, that you mentioned, Breathe.
And honestly, just even what you said last week about breathing through the nose versus the mouth, just even that one day of me being conscious of it, I really noticed the difference in I'm repeating it now because I literally was able to see it, but it's especially because I'm a smoker, I breathe through my mouth all the time. Plus I hold my breath all the time. I'll be thinking about something, working on something, and I'll just forget to breathe. And then my watch will be breathe. And I'm like, oh shit. But what Tensia mentioned was the difference in breathing through your nose and your mouth. And it's so true. Even if you guys try it right now, when you breathe through your mouth, it's almost the lazy way compared to when you breathe through your nose. When you breathe through your nose, your whole diaphragm lifts up. It's
actually
it's kind of crazy.
It takes more, it hurts you more to breathe from your mouth. And it only feels like more work to breathe through your nose because you have unpracticed yourself.
Got it.
Through
Fair
smoking.
enough.
Yeah.
And sleep apnea and whatever else. Yeah.
Which is derived from all that. But you should be breathing through your nose, and it should be easier than from your mouth, because your body naturally has muscles to breathe through your nose where it doesn't have muscles to breathe through your mouth.
Yeah, so I mean, if everyone else is down, I'd love to, even if it's only 1 minute that we start with a day, I'm so down.
Yeah.
Leah, what were you gonna say?
No, I need help with breathing.
So we can all do this together.
I voice recorded her, and then she was just like, AJ was like, whoa, she's out of breath. I was like, wow, rude.
But even you said right after, you're like, oh,
sorry.
Dude, how about I've been like telling anybody who will listen to me for the last week, did you know that you're born with all the eggs you're ever gonna have when you're born?
Yes.
You didn't know that?
Selena, oh my God, so funny.
You not know that?
Oh, so
No, and she told me like at our like Thrive lunch last week, and I swear like my jaw hit the floor. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
we have
Selena,
one
you
video.
have
a picture of how
Sophie
she reacted
like,
because
don't we like create eggs every month and then pass them? What do you mean we're born with all our eggs? Like, what are you talking about? I'm still so confused, but
You're
apparently it's true.
priceless, Soph. Like priceless. Selena, you have that picture, right?
oh, it's coming.
I have a video, actually. I have a video, which was
Yes,
fucking awesome.
you did. Yeah,
Oh my God.
I don't know here.
Excuse me. Can you say Bucky? Are you a cat?
There you go.
Let's see.
That was her face. She
That's so
was like, wait.
You're freaking hilarious.
What?
Sorry.
Oh my god! Like she.
Okay, so to
Very
carry on
entertaining.
to the last point, it's about self-reflecting. Spend about 10-15 minutes at the end of your day to just self-reflect on your day, right? Like what were your trigger points today? What could have you done better? What made you happy today? What made you feel good? Just self-reflect on little things, just sitting in silence as well with yourself. And just writing those things down is really helpful. So those are some things you guys can do. It's okay.
Can I mention something that like I kind of realized for myself?
Yeah.
It really stood out to me, Kathy, when you said like, if having a shower is all you can do for yourself, go have a fucking shower, right? Like honestly, with mom life, that sometimes is all that we can do for ourselves. And sometimes we don't even have privacy when we go and have that shower. So with that said, also shower with intention. You can shower thinking that you are washing any negativity or you're passed away. Like if you are imagining any burden that you have on your shoulders being washed away, having a shower is like a cleansing process, like for not just your body but like your soul,
Right.
If that makes sense.
Dude, the power of a fucking good shower is insane. Like there's days where I don't fucking shower for 5 days. I'll admit that. There's days where like I go a week and I haven't showered and I feel like shit. And like, you know, you don't even realize that like you're so like you start feeling so heavy and you're like, fudge. Because you're carrying on so much, right? And you're not able to get to wash that off. And then once you shower, it's like, whoa, clean new energy.
It's true.
Yeah, I used to like, but now I really take my time just showering. So with that being said, I want to go and talk about 4 words that really make a difference with your personal development journey. And also just clearing. Nice, you okay? So the 4 words that make a difference is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So interpersonal intelligence is an important type of intelligence that will help you on the path to your life and career goals, right? So interpersonal intelligence refers to a person's ability to be introspective. It includes how well you know yourself, including your strengths, and weaknesses, emotional triggers, and motivations. You want to be able to recognize your strengths and find a measure of pride in them. It's only through that you will be able to strain them every day and really harness it in your everyday life. When it comes to reaching your particular goal or target that you have for whatever it is, with whether in your life, business, relationship, you want to find ways to really magnify your strengths by using them where they matter the most. Evelyn, relax, okay? Being aware of your weaknesses is a huge key to for personal development. Now I'm gonna use a story with you guys. Like, I used to freaking fear doing any type of these Zooms or anything with like speaking, because I freaking hated it because of like past experiences, being made fun of or whatever that is. Like, you know, because of past trauma, it really put a pause on a lot of things that was helping my growth. So back then, when I first started the business, I was one of Twin's strongest leg. Like, we were 40K, right? Like, we were whatnot. She didn't have that many promoters back then, and she would always ask me to speak and do team trainings and all that stuff, and I would always be so scared. I would hold back and I would just say no. And I remember Lisa Fuller asked me to do one of the big Zoom trainings where there's like 100+ people, and I was like, I just made an excuse and I was like, oh, sorry, like my child, blah, 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 blah. And then I realized like all of that is like putting a pause on my growth, because those are the things that you need to do to be scared. You have to do things scared to really understand yourself more, right? So now I always look for opportunities to do things like that. When asked me to do the local on the 27th, I was like, yeah, let's fucking do it, even though I do not want to do it. Like, I'm probably still gonna be shit scared. I'm shit scared still going on Zoom talking to you guys. But that's how you kind of work on it and get better and progress.
And I'm gonna add to that, because Kathy did ask me too, and I'm like, but I'm so scared. Literally, okay, guys, like, I know I'm really fucking loud, but when it comes to public speaking, like, I can't. Like, I get frozen. Like, I can talk to you guys, no problem. Like, I can talk to people that know me, no problem. But if it comes to public speaking, seriously, like, my face will go red, my voice will crack, and like I'm like this, like you'll see another person like from me, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, give me like a day or two. I was like trying to get over the fear, and then like, you know, I sit and like was like, how do I say yes? Like, I've just got to get over it. And then next thing you know, they already posted who was going to talk at the local. And I was like, fuck, I missed my opportunity. And I was like, I just shouldn't have said no. I just should have just said yes right off the bat. And then like, it's because it's much harder to back out. Like, it really is. Yeah. Once you've said yes, it's so much harder to back out. And like, when you sit on it and think for longer, then like, you get
more scared.
All the why you can't.
Yeah.
All the why you cannot, right? Yeah. So I told Kathy, I'm like, afterwards, I'm like, you know what? I freaking regret saying no to you. And I'm like, I hate saying no to you, especially when I know it will help me grow and it'll like help my business, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, moving forward, I also want to like practice what I preach, like telling you guys not to be scared and do it scared. Like, I gotta do it too. So that's why at our next local,
yeah. Well, if you guys come on the 27th, I'm probably gonna piss my pants, but it's okay. It's only gonna be better than
you.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so now I kind of like to put myself in situations where, you know, that forces me to grow and kind of work on my weaknesses, because the local on the 27th, I'm probably not even going to do that best, but I'll know at least it gets better every single time after that. And now I kind of get sad because I will never get like really asked to be on those Zooms anymore. And that's a very big Zoom, right? So, and I've missed that opportunity so many times because I said no, and now they kind of just see me as a person that says no. So now why would they ask me? So yeah, as humans, we often find that overcoming certain weaknesses helps us grow in other ways too, right? So, I mean, we could sit here all day and really talk about the importance of mindset, but
that's sorry.
It's okay.
I was going to say that's the scale of adversity that I was trying to talk about last week as well. Like, kind of, you build it up to like being a 10 in your head as to how bad it's going to be. And then you kind of force yourself to get through with it. And you look back and it was only like a 4. You know what I mean? So a lot of the time we make it a lot worse for ourselves in our head than it even has to be.
Yeah. And I think we just expect so much more of ourselves. Like we just assume that we have to be perfect that one time, you know? But like it's not going to be. We're not, like, it's fine too. So, you know, our mindset is a powerful tool to really help us accomplish any goals and overcome any obstacles, right? We always say that. So the foundational beliefs naturally affect the way we process information and experience the world around us. Having like an optimistic mindset increases the likelihood of formulating a winning perspective and achieving long-term success. This does not mean you're going to assume you will never run into problems again, and does not mean you're not going to be faced with problems every single day. It means you are waiting for problems to come so that you can overcome them and learn something new about yourself and gain more knowledge on the world and for your next problem that comes. So something I like to always ask myself every single day is just like, who do I need to become in order to achieve my goals? Because I kid you guys not, 6 months from now, you're not going to be the person you are today, right? You're going to be overcoming a lot of your fears and struggles, and you're going to be a completely new person 6 months from now. You can be a new person every single day you choose to wake up, right? And you choose to be someone else. So don't, ask yourself, like, what is it you want? Like, if what the goals is from 5 years from now, well, what do you have to be, or who do you have to be to become in order to achieve those goals? Because the things you're doing today is not going to be able to, we're going to be doing things differently 5, 6 months, 5 years from now, right? So including just like the mindset and attitudes that we need to adopt in order to be successful. The way they view their life, like the successful people view their life, is through an optimistic lens, and they see world as a place full of opportunities that take for them to be successful, right? So that's my little spiel for now, but I wanted to do a fun exercise with everyone. If you guys have a pen and paper on hand, you guys, we don't have to share it with each other. If you do want to share it, feel free. But so let's see, just off the top of your head, one sec, write 2 things down that scare the living shit out of you. Like, and it's like, yeah, maybe not animals, but like something that just like really you. Like, get deep with yourself, okay? Like, I don't want you to be like, yeah, I'm scared of spiders. I want some deep shit. Like, really get down nitty gritty. Like, what are 2 things that scare you? And just write that down. I'll give you guys a few minutes to do that.
Fuck, my shit scares me so bad. I'm like almost in tears just writing it on a piece of paper.
That's good though. We like that. We support that.